hear something going. Okay, so I turned that off. Sorry, I had that on already. Hi, everyone. This is the Sacred Media Group with Diva Lee here today, and I am going to be talking to today's guest, which is Solara from the Quantum Scalar Lounge. Hi, Solara. How are you going?
Hi, Divi Lee. Thank you so much for having me today. I'm great. How are you?
I'm fantastic, thank you. Especially talking to you just a little bit before and getting to know you. It sounds like we've got a lot in common, and that is other people's health. So tell us a little bit about yourself. How did you get started in the natural pet therapy field to start with?
Oh, I had a bit of a journey. I must say that a few years ago, I was not even spiritual at all. Um, but what happened was back in the days that I had a really severe health scare. And that woke me up and that shook me up, and I started to change everything in my life. So I opened up to the spiritual well being and all these things around us that I completely shut off beforehand. I started to look a lot into meditation, a little bit into breath work as well. I started to follow Dr. Joe Dispenza, which is still one of my absolute passions. I love him.
Yeah,
Went to
yep.
quite a few week-long retreats with him also, and it's just changed my life and my heart. And opening up to all this, I kind of slowed down my brain waves. I healed myself from that horrible condition that I was diagnosed with. I don't even want to talk about what it is, and I don't take ownership. Um, but also, I learned how to really relax and my mind and to become quite creative. And so, next to being a German teacher, which I've done and love since many, many years, 19 years now, I
Mm-hmm.
started to open up to other modalities out there and to see what is out there, how can I help people. I also acquired a diploma of health science, and all that led me in the end to having an open mind. And a friend of mine introduced me to scalar energy therapy. And I thought, what is that even? And I started to look into that and done a bit of research about it and thought, oh, it seems to make a big difference in the life of many people. It helps to boost the immune system. And as we all know, we went through quite difficult times. It was all about the immune system. And having that there as a natural way of to restore and enhance your energy and restore sleep, improves the immune system. There's all these things that have been witnessed in research, but also in independent research. So I
Mm-hmm.
got excited about it and looked into it.
Oh, fantastic. It's so funny. I wish I knew how many medical health practitioners. I wish that I could do like a poll and, across the board to see how many natural health professionals actually start off with having their own health problems.
So true.
Because I'm the same. Like, it started off actually when I had kids. The minute I got pregnant, I knew that, I didn't want pharmaceutical chemicals next to my children. And I went to homeopaths and naturopaths, especially for my son, because he was born with a weakened immune system. And he even got a staph infection in his finger when he was like only days old. And he had to go back into hospital, and he had the, IVs and antibiotics and whatever to get rid of the staph infection. But then after that, I knew that, his immune system needed to be boosted. So I took him to a naturopath, and she gave him some homeopathic remedies, and I started to get into homeopathic remedies. And then, of course, I had health problems myself because I'm 61 now, nearly 62. So, you do get these things. And instead of going down that normal medical road, I myself, thought, well, why not do Reiki myself? Why not heal myself? Why do I have to pay for, other, health professionals to help me? Although I still like going to check out new devices, new inventions like you've got, and I can't wait to come and have something with you. But
Beautiful.
so what did you do during the COVID lockdown? Did you start up this business then, or was it?
Oh, no, I'm only in business for this particular device since 3 months. So, and it has been already accepted quite well in the community, which is amazing. So there must be a need for it. So it took
Yeah.
me beforehand probably another 1 or 2 months just to learn all about it and just to understand the technology a little bit better, because
Yeah.
obviously we sometimes intuitively are drawn to something and we use stuff, but in
Yeah.
that moment we invite other people. It's not enough just to know to say it's really good. You kind of
Yeah.
need to learn a little bit about it. And yeah, especially Professor Konstantin Mail in Germany has done an extensive amount of research that is not really tied to any company profits. That was one of
Yeah.
the really important things to me, because we all know that when we look into research that has been done just in the sense of making profit, can we really
Yeah.
trust as much? That's just a question I like to ask.
And that's exactly right. You know, they've got a lot of money to put into marketing of these things. And sometimes, I mean, I have bought devices that actually haven't worked.
Oh,
I really
okay.
have, you know, and you can spend money on them too, you know, but they don't do what they say they're supposed to, either that or I'm just, you know, I don't know,
Yes.
one out of a basket that it doesn't work for. But so
Mhm.
what actually does yours, how does yours work on somebody's physical body? What is the process that it goes through?
Yeah, I'm happy to try to explain it. I'm not a quantum physicist, but I try my best. I learned my script
Yep.
a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, we're all layman's here, so layman's terms for us, please.
Yes, and if you want, you can blend in that photo about the launch, because you can see a little bit. You can't see very much my transmitter and my receiver, but a little bit is on that photo.
I'll
It's a one.
show you this
Yes,
one.
that's beautiful. Okay, actually, you can see a little bit more than I thought.
Yeah.
So the way scalar energy was explained to me, and I try to pass it on, is that we actually have a receiver box and a transmitter box, and they producing these electromagnetic waves. And ideally, when they collide in the middle, they cancel out each other's magnet waves. So the charge has been wiped out, and we create a zero energy field or a standing energy field. So that is the idea of scalar. And when Nikola Tesla back in the day started to research scalar waves that most of us have heard about, it was all about this. And he called it also the universal and natural occurring energy, because it also occurs in nature. The reason why we started to recreate it is because of the restorative effect on the body. So as you can imagine, when you go into a restorative zero energy field, and our bodies are also electric beings, aren't we? We all know that. And we are not always in the ideal millivolt range. There is stress, there is disease, there is EMF, there might be certain health treatments that we've been forced into. There's a multitude of different things that can bring us out of our ideal energy range. And we don't always have a nice, beautiful Japanese rainforest available on our doorsteps, you know, that we want to indulge in, because that is kind of a similar things to ground ourselves. So when we go into this field, our bodies want to intertangle with this energy field around us, and that has been shown in research to be extremely restorative. It has helped with energy, it helps with getting better sleep, it helps with immune functions, and it has shown to help also with people having other therapies like chemotherapy, to just for people to cope better with the side effects. So there is a whole range of benefits to it that have been shown in the research.
Wow.
Yeah,
Fantastic.
good.
That's really good. Especially for people that, I mean, there are a lot of people, there are a lot of cancers out there, and a lot of people having chemo and radiation. And if you can negate some of the negative effects that it has, so that the person can, you know, heal faster. So,
Yes.
and so you can actually conjoin it with ordinary medicines, you know, allopathic medicines as well. So, and treatments, and that's really good.
Yeah, there was
Yeah.
some research exactly about that as well, that people who had to rely on quite heavy pain medication, they were able to cut it down. And, that's a big thing for many people, because even being on pain medication, that can bring so much imbalance into the bodies. And
Mm.
yeah, and that one of the very big things that I haven't even mentioned it, and there's a beautiful piece of research written about that, is also the effects on our mental well-being. So that's almost an antidepressant effect that was measurable in one of these studies. I'm not going to go into how that works. I kind of just get remotely into the place where I
Yep.
do understand why this is even happening. But that's even in the 3 months of operating here on the Gold Coast. I noticed that many people report back to me, oh, I felt really lightweight and happy, and that lasted for a while, and that's just great.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, fantastic.
Yeah.
And it's that well-being that's probably, it's put our bodies in that state of neutral so that it can heal itself, instead of us, overthinking things and when am I going to get better and what have I, when am I going to do this, when am I going to do that. Your body cannot heal itself if you're stressed within yourself. And also, yeah, I mean, and that's what makes us sick in the first place. When we have emotional dysfunction, or we're holding on to past negative emotions, that's where diseases, arthritis and, everything, absolutely everything. When you think about it, yeah. When you think about it, like people have a very busy day and they're stressed and they get a headache. Imagine people that are living in that constant state of stress, and that's why more serious diseases come up, and they get you where you've got sensitivities, like where you're holding anger, or you've had an accident and or a broken leg. Even if you haven't healed the emotions around that, and you can only do that by being in a neutral, no stress state.
That's right.
So,
And we,
yeah.
we make absolutely no claims, absolutely zero claims. And I got people actually to sign a waiver to say we're not doing any claims. However, there is so much evidence to what everything you just said, how our mental well-being is really the key to our physical well-being. So I personally believe that a lot as well. Yes. So we had quite a bit of success in the 3 months while we were operating in Paradise Point. So if you wanted to maybe blend in that picture of that lovely lady with the rhinovirus, so that was one of the things Yes, please. That's one of these things I just like to show to people. This is one of my beautiful clients, and she suffered a really terrible rhinovirus. And this is where I was blown away myself, because these pictures have been done before and after one single scalar energy therapy session. So you can see that on the first picture, her eyes are swollen. They are quite red. And afterwards, it had cleared up completely. And also the swelling seemed to have disappeared. So I'd really like to show to people, and just make up your own mind. By all means, as I said, it might be just only happen to her and might not happen to another person. So this is important to know. But yes, beautiful. Yeah. So when people come into the lounge, their well-being is my absolute priority. I want to make sure that they feel like they're not going into a clinical environment. They're going into somebody's lounge. That's why I call it the lounge. I got very comfortable chairs, many people going to sleep in them. I got wonderful sound healing that is in alignment with the scalar wave energy. So they're getting normally to wear their headphones if they choose to. And completely relax. I got a wonderful Reiki practitioner as well, who can come in on request. And that has been really opening a lot of emotional imbalances for people, because she's just like an angel. So she comes in and she's a bit into crystals as well. And not everybody wants it. Some people like I'm more like a technical person, so I like my devices. But when people say, "Oh my God, I'm holding on to so much anger or fear or grief lately, a lot of grief," and we're adding on this amazing Reiki to it, It has
That's
been mind-blowing. You can show one
that's
of those if you like. I got my beautiful friend Dee, who is just like an earth angel and just beautiful. Yeah, that's her. And she's
okay.
applying the Reiki there, and just in combination with scalar waves. Whoo, it's amazing.
Well, it's amazing because yeah, you're getting the two treatments at the one time, which has to, and like,
Yes.
and releasing those emotions is just fantastic, just
Oh,
absolutely fantastic.
we have a lot of
Yeah.
tears and our heart opening happening, and she's just
Oh
wonderful.
no.
She plays a specific meditation that she found, and
Yeah.
she's just an earth angel. And also the other little quirky thing I like to share is that we try once a week, if the request comes in, to treat animals also. And we know that animals don't have a placebo effect. Actually, there are some studies even with plants, and they certainly don't have a placebo effect, but animals not
Yeah.
either. So there is
Yeah.
a picture that if you wanted to show it. So we had people visiting. We have this little plastic cradle where actually the owners sit with their beautiful animals, and we treat them like our babies a little bit. They're getting a little bit spoiled. They're getting a licky mat with some special treats on there, and
Oh,
then they go to sleep. Like, and
oh.
you can see that one of my friend here with her beautiful bulldog, Basta, came along, and
Yep.
it looks like they both actually went to sleep, which is
It does, doesn't it? It's precious. That's
and actually
beautiful. It's really,
animal
really lovely.
practitioner as well, so we can call her in on request also. She's beautiful.
What are you going to do when somebody rings up and say, "Can you do my horse?"
Oh, look, um, I mean, I don't think I can get the horse through my house door to come in. I
Uh,
got a large house, but
yeah,
no, just there is a way we could do that, but it has to be set up outside or
that's
in.
right.
It's
So
not a
it
job.
doesn't have to be in the, it doesn't have to be in the confined space of a room, just as long as you're sitting in between the two, like the receiver and the transmitter.
100%. So scalar energy is known to go right through walls also. So
Yeah,
it might
right.
be, but it is for the machine that I'm currently using, it's for me really important that we plant people or animals right between. I
Yeah.
know there's some crazy climbs of stuff of like people always 10 meters away. But I don't think that's optimizing that zero energy field, because it might go in and out of the zero when you go around those wavelengths, you know.
Mm. Yep, yep, yep. Oh, look, it just sounds amazing.
It is
So, how did you find out about it? How did you, I mean,
oh,
did you do the research, or did somebody recommend it to you,
no.
or?
The initial spark of it was that I had actually people talking about it that I knew, and they said, "Oh, scalar here, scalar there," and I just wanted to know what it was and finding out more. Then that's when I started to do the research, and I thought, "Oh, there's a much more to it." And unfortunately, people don't really know about it so much yet. But I'm going to
Yeah,
go on a trip to Germany in September, which is my home country, as you can hear with my accent. And I
fantastic.
have an appointment with the research and development team of Professor Konstantin Mail, who's really the father, or what we should say, the father of scalar wave should be Nikola Tesla, but he
Yep.
continued a great amount of research, which you can all see on Google Scholar
Mhm.
and other sources. And I made
Yep.
an appointment because they, after the research was done, started to develop a machine. So we can see it's not the other way around. It's the right way around. There was research, and then they developed a perfect machine that people can use in a clinical surrounding or even at home. And
Mhm.
I will get one of their specific machines because it also has a rifing attachment, and the combination
Yeah.
of both and the credibility of this German produced wonderful machine by by Professor Konstantin Mail can't get much better than that. And I think it's
Yeah.
going to be very unique for Australia to have the option to offer that.
Yeah. Wow. Fantastic. And so, do you treat yourself? And if you have, what sort of things have you noticed that's changed within you?
It is a little bit embarrassing. It's what many doctors or chiropractors go through. You tend to treat other people, but you're not enough using it on yourself. So I learned it the
Yeah.
hard way because I tend to get migraines, and I just, at some stage, I had a lot of things on, and another migraine was triggered. And I thought, this is it. I'm going to prescribe myself the scalar treatment and not just doing it for other people. I scheduled it in. I spent significant time in it, and it just cleared it up beautifully. So since then, I've used it much more for everything. I'm working in it as well. I know that they say don't have metallic stuff really in that, can interfere a bit, but I still sometimes do, because I still get so much out of it. So it helped with
Yeah,
the
well,
migraines,
good.
but I also always program my little microgen device. Also, it can cure, well, oh no, this is, I should never say that. I just wiped that out. I will never say it can cure. But for me, it helped to clear up a lot of issues.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, look, absolutely fantastic. And what about your clients that you've had? Is there anything that you can talk about, like, that's
Yeah,
helped
well,
your clients with different things?
yes. I mean, the feedback that we got so far was almost all, anybody got something out of it. Was it relaxation, better sleep, definitely energy boost after a couple of days, especially the clearing
Oh,
up of the viruses. I had a beautiful client who came all the way from Brisbane, and she left a beautiful video testimonial. So it's all out there to watch for people if they're wanted. And she had just incredibly great results, especially emotionally. So she felt that she coped much better with challenges in life, and it also, her pain management was much better. So
mhm.
thankfully, most people leave me a quite really good Google review, and I'm still just new
Oh,
in it, but I'm just really grateful
yep.
about how things are going.
Yeah. Oh, look, absolutely fantastic.
Yes.
So, um, what would you like to see where you are going? Where would you see yourself, like, in a couple of years' time? Are you going to stick with this particular one? Are you going to add other healing modalities to your practice? Where are you
Yes.
going? Where are you heading?
So I got I'm getting really bubbly about this, because this is really my passion. Definitely I like the idea of adding other modalities to it, knowing now how powerful other things can be. So I'm still
Yeah,
learning a little bit about what could be a good addition. My Reiki and my microgen, they are already just great. So when I get the new machine, there is a proper riving machine on there that I can individually program every time. So that will automatically just tie it all up together. But I
uh-huh.
just see what else comes my way. I definitely will
So
see
you're
my
saying that the microgen is like a little mini rife machine, is that right?
mic it's a microcurrent device that I
Yeah,
can individually program already. But yeah, I'm looking all into upgrading my system and maybe allowing more than two people at the moment. I only have the chance to have two, maybe three people, to put them
yeah,
between those in my scalar field. But I would
yeah,
like to open up to have maybe a few more people, like maybe like doing funky things, like if there is a hens party or something for alternative people and they want to do something, I want to offer them to come here and maybe get a
wow.
sound healer in who can
Like
give
a
them the
baby shower or something like that,
I
are pregnant women allowed to go? Are they
know.
allowed to use them?
No, exactly. Well, I got very few exclusions there. That is the one thing. I wouldn't treat pregnant ladies. We don't want people with a pacemaker and kids under 7 years. I still think it would be all amazing, but I definitely don't want to interfere with what my manufacturer has said. So
Yeah, right,
we're keeping those people away. So the baby
uh-huh.
shower, maybe not, but a hands party would be an
Yeah,
option. And
yeah,
sound
yeah, yeah.
and all these things. I know I got good resources of beautiful people, and they would be able to come in and enjoy that particular community here.
How hard is it to market it? Have you had any trouble, or have people flocked to it? Because I
Oh,
found I did my Reiki, like, probably, I got into flower essences first as a practitioner, and then I did a Reiki course,
mhm.
and nobody knew anything about it. So I would, like, try and market it through health fairs and things like that. And nobody thought that flower essences were, could help anything, because it just tasted like nothing. So,
Yes.
and I said, that's the beauty of it, because it's, flower essences are a vibrational remedy. So And I had real trouble back then, you know, trying to talk people into having a session of Reiki or having some flower remedies, you know. So how hard is it for you starting up from nothing?
Yeah, I think it comes like a little bit back to I can relate to what you say. So the flower
Yeah.
essence is of course something that I can relate to as being German, you know, because the Bachblüten and stuff was what we
Yeah.
grew up with, really. However, so Scalar is the new kid on the block. It really is.
Yeah.
So and I feel I
Well,
try.
it's a new kid on the block, but it was invented like by Tesla,
No,
wasn't it? Way back
I
when?
know
When was
it's
he alive? Was it the
not.
1940s or something?
But in terms
Yeah.
of being able to use it in a clinical approach,
No.
therapy approach, it seems to be quite new. And so it is a bit hard because and I want to reframe this straight away. I said it is a little bit hard, but then it's not, because you just adjust in your marketing approach. It's all fairly new. I'm pretty
Yeah.
happy about the way things going. I got a lovely company in Brisbane. They're helping me a little bit with website SEO. That's the only thing I outsourced so
Yeah.
far. I try to do everything myself and learn as I go. And the
Yes.
problem is the word scalar is not a very attractive keyword yet. It will be when people opening up more, and we know the world is opening up to everything, but that particular keyword, scalar energy therapy, is not being searched very much. So there is a certain there's a brand name out there, and I'm not going to bring that up, but that brand name is more into people's awareness if it's about scalar than the actual therapeutic value of it, scalar wave therapy.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's a question of timing and educating people. And I don't see the need to push people into anything. I think it will be the universe will align, and more people talk about it already.
Mm.
So
Yeah,
yes.
the reason why I ask about that is because there's a lot of people that want to leave their day jobs, you know, and get into natural therapy. And they just said, you know, I've spoken to a few. I even have friends that want to do it, but they're too scared to leave their full-time job because it's, you know, the
Yeah.
lack of income coming in.
Oh,
So, but I think I tell them, you know, like, create it, visualize it in your head, do it, you know, just do it. And I think that in the coming years, people are going to wake up knowing that, you know, the allopathic industry, the way it is now, is not that good for you. Whereas these things can actually heal you. You have a couple of treatments and they heal that problem. They don't cover what the symptoms are and then create more diseases within your body, because most drugs now come with you know, like, so if you're taking something for your heart, and it could have implications for your liver, so then, you know, you're not only taking heart tablets, you know, you're going to have to be doing something for your liver as well. These natural products don't do anything like that. So yeah, I am sure that more people are going to be waking up and putting a little bit of money away. I know it's not free like the government's, you know, and you know, Medicare and stuff like that we have here in Australia.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm sure that more people are going to be waking up and using and trying natural therapies.
Well, I
Yeah.
hope the same. I just find it's a more gentle pathway. And also, I'm not claiming to heal
It's
anybody.
non-invasive, isn't it? It's a non-invasive treatment.
Well, that's exactly right.
Non-invasive. If you've got a bad back.
That's what I really like about it. It's non-invasive. It's safe. It brings in a lot of benefits. What it more does is people have to understand, because I had to actually explain it to some people in Germany, and like, what's going on? What do you do? Are you radiating people? And they're like, no, I do the opposite. I take frequencies away. You know, I create a zero standing energy field. And that's the opposite. I'm not radiating anybody.
Yeah.
So, but
Yeah.
what it does is that your body can find its own balance and harmony and restore from inside out. So that's where I say we have the potential that happens. Once again, no claims from Solara here, but if you want to look at the research, and my website, I added a lot of research and put all the links at the end. I don't care if people get overwhelmed about it. They can read my abstract of it. or they can actually click on the research link and maybe just only read the abstract of the research, because that will tell a lot about it as well. I know people getting overwhelmed, but I said, I don't care. I put it on my website, on my homepage. So if people want to learn more about it, they can, if they choose.
That's fantastic.
Yeah,
Well, exactly. We've got to learn to wake up and take responsibility for what goes into our body without just trusting somebody else. And
I
like,
know.
people will investigate what sort of petrol to put in their car, but they don't. That's a tin can. That's a tin can. You can always buy another car. You can't buy yourself another body.
God, that's so true. I like this analogy so much. I will have to remember that. Yes.
Yeah. There's one thing that I would like to do, and maybe one day we're going to have like a mass meditation where we get people to wake up and start learning that they've got to investigate themselves, not only what they're eating and and what's in our food and what's in our water and what's in our atmosphere, and things like what runs the internet that can be not good for us either. And as soon as you have people start waking up to that, then natural therapy is going to be the next big thing. And there's so many that's coming online now, which is absolutely fantastic, natural therapists, so like years ago, probably the guy who invented your machine probably couldn't have got it trademarked or, through the system at one stage. And now they're actually coming through. It's like, the patents that people want to get, patents can be held up for 100 years if the powers that be want to. So I think that must have relaxed a little bit too, because there are more machines coming to the market, and the inventor of the machine, which is your guy from Germany, he's still actually alive. A lot aren't.
Like, just to correct that just for a second, the system that I'm currently using is not from him. It's leaning onto his work. I can tell that because they're citing him. But I'm gonna get the machine from him when I go to Germany. So I got that as an additional option. I might have 2 lounges here. So one which is a more smaller scale and one is a bigger one. So I haven't purchased that wonderful device yet, but I'm made the appointment and I will rock up, and I talk to their research term a lot, and I talked to Professor Dale himself. He emailed me and I was so excited.
Yeah, well, absolutely fantastic. So what sort of conditions would you suggest that people come and see you about to see if it can help in any way? What are some of the big ones that that a lot of people get, that you would recommend them coming having a treatment? And how many treatments does it normally? I mean, I know that you're only new, but how many treatments would you recommend for people to come to?
Yeah, so everybody is obviously different, and I had good responses from only one session, but I had also like a scaling response of people when they come and they said, "Oh, every time I came, something better came out of it." So this is really so we at the moment we're offering this package where we say if you buy a set of 3 sessions, you get a 4th one for free. I think so between 3 and 4 is a really good starting point. So that's how I look at it. It needs to be a decent amount of time also. So we can't, I on my website, I somewhere offer an hour as an option, but ideally it has to be 1.5 hours or 2 hours. So if somebody has done quite a few sessions and says, okay, I'm going to quickly add on an hour because I don't have the time and I want to go in my weekly treatment, that's of course okay. But to start with, probably the longer the better. And talking about conditions, I would never even bring in the C word, like for people to come to get treatments for cancer or something like this. Is absolutely not what I even wanted people to consider. But of course, it happens that these kind of people, they look for wonderful supportive additions to maybe what they're doing already with their doctors, and so let's bring
it's got to be helping you in some way. If it's uplifting you and making you feel lighter and calming that monkey mind down, that itself is going to help healing, as well as if they're having chemo, if they're choosing to go down that path. Yeah.
So that is the stuff that I'm bringing up. Even so, it's some research also. If you want to read up, it's on the website. But I'm not
Yep.
even putting any claims or saying these are the right people.
No,
So
you
actually,
can't.
my audience is actually women around our age group who are probably having older children already, and they've been through a lot in life. They're feeling a little bit stressed, maybe. There's a lot
Yep.
going on for them. They might have sleeping difficulties. There might be a bit of hormonal imbalances as well. So
Yes.
anything that we can support our bodies with, and
Yep.
many of us had a health scare already. So this can be all very supportive. But
Yeah.
yes, this work here has attracted all people with quite severe diseases as well. And I'm not going to send them back because they have
Yeah.
done their little amount of research. And so this could be really helpful for us. But that's
Mm.
not my main audience that I'm, bringing it out to.
Yeah. Yeah. And so is there a detox? Does a detox happen to people, Yeah,
Yes,
right.
100%.
Okay.
That's one of the big benefits as well. I didn't even bring that up so much. So yes, it has a detox feature, so to speak, to it as well. So it has been shown in the research that has already been done that it can be helping for that also. Yeah,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
especially the antidepressant effects that it can have on some people. That is another huge benefit.
Yeah. Yeah. Now I know this is not your specialty, but do you recommend for people to sort of change their diet? Do you go through that with them and recommend that they change a few things with their diet and stuff like that? Just, not at practitioner level, but a common
Yeah.
sense level.
Yeah, funnily enough, I have like a diploma of health science as well, which I focused on
You
nutrition
can
as
talk practitioner level then.
well. No, I don't want to do any claims there either.
Okay.
Um, it hasn't been my main focus to get people on a better diet, and so, but it's always in the back of my mind because I just can't help myself. It's just
Mhm.
this little bit of a subtle guidance that I would like to bring in, especially when people feeling the detox effect is really necessary. Like getting your diet to support you is again a very self-loving thing, isn't it? So I
It is.
don't say to people, oh my God, like I'm gonna create a diet plan for you now, and you can't have this, you can't have that, you can have that. You know, People will, if they need to get more information about what certain diets are suitable for certain conditions, they will find out about it. And then I'm happy to just support them in the knowledge and give them research links to read more about it. But generally speaking, for me, it's all about the self-love and self-care. I
Mhm.
personally on a low sugar diet. I've been since many years, since my first first and only big health scare, which is in the
Yep.
past now. And
Yep.
that works really well for me. And lots of greens and
Fantastic.
celery
Fantastic.
juice occasionally.
Yes. Medical medium.
But
I follow the medical medium.
yeah.
So have you ever tried putting food in between, like if you bring your weekly groceries in, and do you put them in there, and have you seen any difference or no?
See, I'm trying to go with what really does make sense to me 100% and what I can understand. But I have to say that in my receiver box, there is actually a molecular plate, and there have been observations about water, putting water on there, and that is
Oh.
some of the frequencies apparently. And with this frequency water, there is actually a research study written about this. And because I've read that study, I'm like, well, I'm doing this anyway. It's not my main focus, but I get to people to take a little glass, shot glass, and I fill this up with the water, and they all get to skull it after. That's the only kind of skull treatment that they get here. There's no whiskey, no vodka, but they get the frequency water, and we do that every time. And because of that research study that has been done, well, I'm just going with it. But
Yep.
I haven't put food in the middle or anything. I think it has to be in liquid anyway to make sense to absorb.
Oh, does it? Oh,
Sure.
does it?
Yeah, I'm learning every day.
Okay.
I will ask
Yeah.
my professor
Well,
in Germany.
I suppose vegetables have a certain amount of water in them, though.
Yeah,
You make mushrooms, you cook mushrooms up, and there's a lot of moisture that comes out of them. So you
exactly.
don't know. So
Oh,
someone could actually probably bring a loaf of bread in, and sit on their lap and just see what happens.
well,
Because
Professor Weil did this experiment with those plants. They put like plants in the middle of a scalar field that he created, and this many of these plant leaves that changed their color, and they were referring back to the ATP level. There was a hypothesis that the ATP level in the plants could be changed by being in the scalar field. ATP, our energy generating particles, so to speak. And so, yeah, there was visibly a change of those colors. So I suppose
wow.
now you got me thinking, But
Yeah,
when I
yeah,
was
yeah. I mean, I experiment to the nth degree. I mean, you should see my healing room sometimes. I've got things set up, and because I've got I've also got a music of the plants machine, so you can plug it in. One little node goes into the soil of the plant, and one node goes actually onto the plant, and the vibrations that are coming out of the plant, it gets the frequency, it gets turned into sound. So it comes out as sound through this music of the plants thing.
oh
And
my
it's
God,
just,
happy
I've got
plans.
one plant, I've got one plant, when I hook it up, it will not shut up.
Wow.
She just talks. Then, so I thought, because I'm into crystals. So, I do crystal skulls, I've got a lot of crystals, and I've got a crystal healing light and crystals. So I actually attached the nodes to a crystal.
Wow.
And it actually vibrated. And I've got
Really?
where have I got that? It might be on my YouTube channel. It might be on there. But one particular skull that I had actually had a melody to it, like it wasn't just dong 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 like that. It was like it really actually had a melody to it, and I can't think how it goes now. And I have a feeling that I've heard that melody before. So whether that's a past life thing or not, I don't know. But I have
Goodness.
not been able to find where this melody came from. So
Mhm.
it's just, there's frequency being emitted from absolutely everything. And this music of the plants actually turns that frequency that's being emitted and turns it into actual sound. So it's just so interesting, isn't it, to
That
find
is
out with these.
blowing.
Yeah, it is. It
I'd like
actually
to
is.
hear more about
I'll email you. I will email you the YouTube that and you'll be able to see this
yes.
beautiful plant, this lily that I've got. She talks non-stop. And I
Wow.
even had my grandson's little crystal skull there, and it made a noise. Yeah, so yeah, I did a few, and I actually I have a spirit guide that is a Sasquatch. And I got up one morning and there were these hairs, long dark hairs in my sink that were really quite thick, like horsehair.
Wow.
And she just comes straight into my mind. She said, it was me. That's your gift. So I've kept them in a paper bag. And then when I got my music of the plants machine, I wrapped the hair around one of the nodes, and I even got sound out of that.
Wow. Wow, this is
So
very
the
interesting. I don't know
frequency,
anything about it. I think my
yeah.
plants would scream out, "Help, help," because I'm not very good with plants. But
Well, you
mind you,
actually, they will love the music of the plants machine, because you actually have to water the plants before you put the nodes on, because it's so like that water generates energy, so the more that you've watered them, if they're dry and they're unhappy, they won't talk. So you have to water them first and then put the nodes in the soil and on the plant itself. It's
well, I'm
amazing stuff.
watching the video. That sounds really interesting.
Yeah, I will send it to you. I will send it to you.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Well, we can just about wind this up. Do you have something else you would like to say? And please give the address of where you are, or a phone number or something like that. I do have your website up there. People can
Thank
also contact you on there.
Yeah,
But
that's the
leave
best
it at
way.
that.
The best
Okay.
way
Yeah.
is to go on the website, and there are booking links. There are just learn more options where you can just get in touch. Don't hesitate to send me a text or call me. My phone number is also on the website, to ask more questions, and I will try my best to answer them. As I said, I'm not a quantum physicist, but I'm definitely there to discuss things and, yeah, to see. I would just say, give it a go.
And you're
And
at Paradise
in
Point.
Paradise
You're at
Point, by the
Paradise
way.
Point on the Gold Coast, Queensland.
Yes.
So lots of people that come up here for holidays. There you go. You're so close. It's what, about a 20-minute drive, half an hour to surface.
Oh,
Probably
yeah.
40 minutes to Brisbane. So yeah.
Yeah.
You're
So I
close.
had people coming from Brisbane, and that is because we're the northern Gold Coast here, Paradise Point.
Yeah.
It's actually not that far to the highway. So yes, I hope
Yeah.
to see many excited
Yeah.
people here soon, and I really, really hope that scalar wave therapy will make a really big difference in many
Yeah.
people's lives.
Yeah,
Mm.
fantastic. Just before you go, I'm going to plug my book. So there's Stop It There. And what did I do with it there? So because I am psychic and because in past lives, it had come up to me that I was actually kidnapped and was taken into satanic ritual abuse.
Oh my goodness.
And so I started channeling the victims who have passed over, the children, the little ones who have been inflicted by this terrible pandemic. I mean, this is a pandemic of enormous proportions at the moment. So, and me with my past life experiences, I wanted to try and get this out to people. Now, I also ask, because it's my belief that none of us are victims of anything. We create our own reality. We are our own God selves. Our soul is directly connected to God. So we can work on ourselves so that we can get rid of the victimizer programs that have been programmed into us. And so at the end of every chapter, I ask these darling little souls who wanted to talk to me, could they please tell me why they had to experience this in their lifetime? And some of the reasons were absolutely amazing and fantastic and beautiful, all different. Every story is different, even though it has, similar outcomes towards the end. But so it's on my website, divalee.co, under the shop tab. It's only $19.99, and it's in a PDF form or ebook form that you can download. So, and it's just, I'm so, so pleased that Mel Gibson and Jim Caviezel have helped to put out a film called Sound of Freedom, where it goes into some depth. There's another guy called Lewis Herms who's also made a film, and that's called Cages. And that's about, that digs even deeper than the Jim Caviezel film, whereas they're telling them, the public, how this actually happens, and through what organizations it happens. And so he digs a little deeper into it too. So, and it just so happened that mine came out around the time that Sound of Freedom was put in the movie theaters in America. But it had taken them 5 years to find any movie theaters that would actually put this stuff out there, because a lot of people in authorities in the world are sexual abusers, are pedophiles. So it's in the police, the court system, the media, medical, and lots of secret societies. So, and I was just so pleased that I happened to have timed my book with the release of The Sound of Freedom, and it's really getting out there and getting known. People just don't know about, because the people in charge are actually the ones that are perpetrators, the biggest perpetrators. And even if you aren't a perpetrator and you say you're like a court judge or you're in the media, you are told to stay hush about it. So there are 22,000 kids a day worldwide that are taken, and it is not advertised. Not many people know about it, and it's of pandemic proportions. And I just want to make people aware. And it does tell you their story, but it doesn't, it sounds like it's going to make you uncomfortable. And people have told me they have had a few tears, but I haven't put up the violence. So it's in a gentle, compassionate way that these beautiful little beings are sharing their story from when they were alive and what they went through. So please, if you're interested at all and waking others up to, buy it, share it, do whatever you like with it. I just want to get it out there that it's a big pandemic at the moment, and it's the cash flow from this, because a drug dealer can sell a lot of drugs once. A child, they can sell over and over and over again. They can have up to 33 different partners a day. And that is terrible. And that's from birth up to teens, even in their 20s. So this child sex trafficking, the more that people know about it, the more we're going to get it stopped, and the system is going to have to start standing up with us instead of against us. So anyway, thank you for that.
Wow.
Uh,
It's a lot to
how do I get rid of it? Is I just can't figure out how to get rid of it now. But anyway, it's probably meant to stay there. So, but oh no, I know what I'm doing. I'm on the wrong one, so I can get rid of it, I think. Is that it? No, it's gone. My admin's taken it off for me. Have you, admin?
What that?
Thank you. It's my husband who's been the administration. He does lots of lives and he's so used to it. So he's there today as my backup. So he's down. Yeah, he's down there hiding away from everybody, but keeping an eye on me so that I didn't muck things up. But anyway, thank you so much, Solara. I am so happy that you came on my show.
Thank you so much for having me. That's fabulous.
If you ever get anything new or want to talk about anything new, please contact me and we'll have another chat and get the word out there for everybody.
Maybe after I got my new machine, and it might be interesting to see what even happens after that. Could be interesting.
Absolutely. Yep.
Thank
just
you
contact
so
me.
much.
Okay.
I really
Thank you very much.
And for asking me all these beautiful questions.
Okay, beautiful. Okay, best of luck with it. I just hope that everybody gets to have a try of these natural therapies at least once in their life to see that they work, expand your belief, expand your, or get rid of that old belief system that you've got where nothing works unless you go to hospital. That's not true. Okay. Mwah! To you all.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye-bye, everybody. Bye.